outcomes, and that embryos provide invaluable tools for medical research. And we also know, too, that there are many scientists who are very concerned.
Good morning, YouTube. I'm sorry, I wasn't ready. I am looking at some morning news. And M.W. Smith, thank you, brother. You started my day. I'm just afraid right now. And I don't mean literally, but some creepy stuff going on. So I'm just going to rewind this. Y'all know we got copyright stuff, so I'm not going to play a lot of it. This is from Truth Unveiled. Check this out.
Animal hybrids and the bigger agenda behind all this and what they do not want you to know. And later on, we're also going to be talking about what your
this is
government
for educational
has
purposes
done,
only.
and how the National Institute of Health is literally approving this in America. That and more to come. But right now, I'm at the Real Strategy, and it says crossbreeding humans with animals approved in the United States. Scientists given the go-ahead to mix human and animal DNA. And we also know that this is nothing new whatsoever.
Okay. I'm going to pause, and I'm going to give you an opportunity to take a deep breath, and then I'm going to rewind it. And let's see. What about here?
Institute of Health is literally approving this in America. That and more to come. But right now, I'm at the Real Strategy, and it says crossbreeding humans with animals approved in the United States. Scientists given the go-ahead to mix human and animal DNA. And we also know that this is nothing new whatsoever, because we know that they've been also doing this for many years, and many scientists behind closed doors have been doing these things, but now it's finally reaching the public. And like I said, I'm going to tell you the bigger agenda in just a second. The report goes on to say that the federal government announced plans Thursday to lift the moratorium on the funding of controversial experiments that use human stem cells to create animal embryos that are partly human. The National Institute of Health, or the NIH, another alphabet soup, is proposing a new policy to permit scientists to...
Okay. Now, I'm going to go directly to the page and play it again for y'all so it can soak in, because I know some of us are a little slow. Where you at? Okay. M.W. Smith said this morning, we need to get out. I agree. We have all types of issues, y'all, but crossbreeding humans with animals approved in the United States, I just don't want to be around people who are taking humans and animals and they're growing up into like human animals with a penis and a vagina. And they're trying to screw my kids. They're trying to screw me, my husband. It doesn't sit well with me. And we can't discriminate against them because these laws that they're passing now, the transgender thing is going to protect them. Ooh. Let me play it for y'all. This is funny. This is news.
And today we're going to be talking about human-animal hybrids and the bigger agenda behind all this and what they do not want you to know. And later on, we're also going to be talking about what your government has just done and how the National Institute of Health is literally approving this in America. That and more to come. But right now, I'm at the Real Strategy, and it says crossbreeding humans with animals approved in the United States. Scientists given the go-ahead to mix human and animal DNA. And we also know that this is nothing new whatsoever, because we know that they've been also doing this for many years, and many scientists behind closed doors have been doing these things, but now it's finally reaching the public. And like I said, I'm going to tell you the bigger agenda in just a second. The report goes on to say that the federal government announced plans Thursday to lift the moratorium on the funding of controversial experiments that use human stem cells to create animal embryos that are partly human. The National Institute of Health, or the NIH, another alphabet soup, is proposing a new policy to permit scientists to get federal money to make embryos known as chimeras under certain carefully monitored conditions, and we're going to go to their report in a minute. The NIH imposed a moratorium on funding these experiments back in September 2015 because they could raise ethical concerns. One issue is that scientists might inadvertently create animals that have partly human brains, endowing them with some semblance to human consciousness or human thinking abilities. Another is that they could develop into animals with human sperm and eggs and breed, producing human embryos or fetuses inside animals or even hybrid creatures. But of course, many scientists have argued that they could take steps to prevent those outcomes and that embryos provide invaluable tools for medical research. And we also know too that there are many scientists who are very concerned about this. And there are many in the scientific and the medical community who are questioning this and raising ethical concerns about this, because there are many concerns about this indeed, and we're going to go over some of them in just a second. But there are many scientists who are trying to tell us that, oh, well, these hybrids could lead to new ways to prevent and treat illnesses, and they say that they're hoping to produce sheep, pigs, and cows with human hearts, kidneys, livers, pancreases, and possibly other organs that could be used for transplants. But what if I told you that it's actual herbs and remedies and natural remedies that actually help fight diseases? And many in the medical field know this, but what does big pharma have to do? They have to keep making money off of you, and the only way they can do that is to keep you sick and fund these things such as what you're seeing today. Gizmodo also talks more about this, and it says U.S. government may lift ban on the funding of chimeras. But like I said earlier, what if I told you that your U.S. government is funding these chimeras behind closed doors? And what if I told you that they're getting help from others as well? And we're going to talk more about this in a second to come, so you can see exactly what they're really doing and just why they're funding these chimeras to begin with. Because trust me, it's not what you think. Now, Gizmodo reports that in the 2009
and I'm hoping that I don't get flagged. That was a lie. But y'all, this is crazy, man. What the hell do they mean? Excuse my language. That's creepy, man. I want to see what else is in my subscriptions. I have to start getting up early. This morning I got up at 4-something, 5. I think this is a good time. It's peaceful in the house. I'll work when he goes to sleep, and then a little when his dad gets here. But I definitely have to start going to bed. Anyway, I'll go down here. I look at this stuff and I'm like, how can you still be asleep, man?
Have been killed by police officers. There needs to be a concerted effort the President of the United States.
Live it when the gimmick and wins from beginning to end. No gimmick if I rep it through, I live it then. And you can't do it, so ain't no need for mimicking. I'm not innocent, I'm on a mission, so let me finish it. Matter of time before they summon the army in. I'm probably on the FBI most wanted list. I'm probably gonna them home like an ornament. I'm on a life mission to apologize, come back.
Okay. Now I can't let it play all the way through because of the copyright stuff. But it's dumb and I'm beyond, so I'm pissed. So we're going to cut to the chase and get rid of the metaphorical nonsense. None of that eloquent. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, the last relevant sage. Thank you for that video. Now I'm up to 9 minutes. Let's find something else. Y'all check this stuff out. The last relevant sage. You know, I don't understand why we are still asleep and why we're afraid. And this is we. I never say y'all. I say we. I never say y'all. I say we. Why are we still here? We should be out there praising and praying right now. Like, good grief. Okay? Now, I'm gonna go on down. I have my salt candle going. It purifies the air. Oh. I watched this morning, or no, that was last night. Miss D and the Copper Color Awakening, the Merovingians. And y'all should go over there and check that out. I mean, they can't have anybody curing AIDS, look. They're glad Dr. CB is dead because he's been curing AIDS. Oh, honey. Arthur Scott has uploaded something new also. It's the first Idris. And I see she has a couple more too.
Arthur Scott. I don't know why it always seems to chop up my name, man. Like when I just be saying, hey. But anyway, it's raining. I ain't doing nothing. Book an address. Let's go for it. Never seen people so excited to read.
Funny. That's how we are. Not excited.
1. Esdras chapter 1. And Josiah held the feast of the Passover in Jerusalem unto his Lord, and offered the Passover the 14th day of the first month, having set the priests according to their daily courses, being arrayed in long garments, in the temple of the Lord. And he spake unto the Levites, the holy ministers of Israel, that they should hallow themselves unto the Lord, to set the holy ark of the Lord in the house that King Solomon the son of David had built, and said, We shall no more bear the ark upon your shoulders. Now therefore serve the Lord your God, and minister unto his people Israel, and prepare you after your families and kindreds.
Okay, that's a little bit out the sky. I see that, Copper Color Miss D, she uploaded part 2, and I'm behind because she got part 3 up there already too.
The man who runs the kingdom on behalf of the king, if the king is doing something more leisurely or if he just simply doesn't want to do it. The mayor of the palace is sort of the lieutenant, the right-hand man. Well, out of the mayor of the palace comes the Carolingian dynasty. The early Carolingian rulers were these mayors of the palace. And as they engaged in the politics of the day, and as they began to go to war on behalf of the Merovingians, eventually the Carolingians, as we'd later know them, began to take on power unto themselves. And so as the Merovingian star begins to fall, the star of the Carolingian dynasty begins to rise. And one of the first real serious Carolingian rulers to arise out of the mayors of the palace ranks is Pepin. Now Pepin is also known by another name, which is Pippin, which is, of course, probably where Tolkien gets the name Pippin from his Lord of the Rings stories. And in 687, Pepin defeats one of the old arch-enemies of the Merovingians, the Thuringians. The Thuringians were a group out east, and there were all kinds of battles between the Merovingians and the Thuringians. But Pepin manages to really soundly beat the Thuringians. And because of that, he is seen somehow more in command than even the Merovingians themselves.
I'm wiping my nose because I really need to.
Charles the Hammer, as he is later known, takes on Pepin's mantle and pursues his own military glory and his own military power. He is ruthless in battle, Charles Martel is. In fact, one of the main things he uses is cavalry, due in large part to the fact that the army that they were coming up against were largely foot soldiers. Sitting on a horse makes it much easier to dominate your enemy than to run around on multiple feet. And Charles Martel is vicious, he is strong, he is a military battler. But in fact, it is Charles Martel who begins to court a relationship with the papacy.
And how I catch up is I walk around with my headphones in while I'm doing all the work.
Gives the papacy these lands outright. And this donation of the land of central Italy to the papacy forms for the very first time what we would call for centuries, all the way down.
But yeah, this is breakfast for me. I shared it on my Instagram. Hope everybody has a good day. Peace and blessings. I have to go back into this I did have this yesterday. King drop. Shout out. Peace and blessings.